Previously on the Jake Allen YouTube channel.
I should really invest in a mic stand. I really need a mic stand. This is not ideal.
Really need a mic stand.
I really need a mic stand. My elbow is kind of cramping. I thought this was a good idea. I got a mic stand. Hey guys, it's Jake. I hope you're all doing really well. I wanted to talk to you guys about Scaled and Icy, the new upcoming album by 21 Pilots, releasing May 21st of this year. Now, I do want to take the time to talk about a podcast style video where Analicia Garcia, Jake Dello, and I talked about our expectations, our hopes and dreams for Scaled and Icy, and that honestly got me thinking what I really want to see from this album and what I want it to accomplish for the Click moving forward. Link to that video in the description below, but I think honestly this topic does warrant its own video. As a longtime 21 Pilots fan, I've been around since 2014, 2015, and I really want to express what I really would like to see 21 Pilots do to push themselves as artists, as creators, as writers, and what I would hope that they would do with this new project. So with that being said, here are the three things that I want Scaled and Icy to do and what I want Tyler and Josh to achieve moving forward with this new album. The first thing I want it to accomplish is I want to see a varied track list. With 3 less songs than the last 2 albums, I want to see them continually push to have a very diverse sounding set of tracks. Vessel and Blurryface are infamous for this. There's even a meme that is like, what genre is 21 Pilots? How do we classify this? Because there's so many sounds and aesthetics in each of these albums. Trench is a little bit like this as well, but I think thematically and sonically it's a little bit more consistent than the two. However, there are still radically different songs within the track list. Now, one thing that concerns me about Scaled and Icy is from the marketing to the lead single, Shy Away, it seems like they're really going after this 80s, 90s, almost like synthwave aesthetic. And I'm just hoping that all of their songs are not going to be targeting this niche. I've seen countless other artists in the past 2 or 3 years really jump on this hype train and trend. And although they've done it well, I would hate to see 21 Pilots shape their entire album after this trend, which who knows how long it will last. My main reason for this is I really see 21 Pilots as trendsetters, or at least trying to do something different every single time. And to see them jump on a trend and basically have an entire album encapsulate that trend is something that I would really not want to see 21 Pilots do. The second thing I would really love to see 21 Pilots accomplish moving forward with this record is to push the lore forward. Yes, Blurryface did its part to establish the early roots of Trench, but I would really love to see Scaled and Icy take the exciting lore that was found within Trench and push it even further, just as much as Trench did with Blurryface. Now, from what I can tell from interviews, it sounds like Tyler and Josh are trying to get back to the Vessel and Blurryface era of music. In a recent interview with Apple Music, Tyler was talking about how he and Josh really wanted to get back to a confident style of music making, basically referencing Vessel and Blurryface. Now, I think these albums are great on their own accord. They have a lot of diverse tracks, but I really think that Trench is in a league of its own in terms of storytelling, in terms of lore building and world building. As a huge fan of Trench, I really hope that Scaled and Icy takes the concepts and lore found within Trench and somewhat in Blurryface and really runs with it. I want to see some crazy new themes. I want to see some world building and some genuinely great storytelling as well. My fear is that if they're going back to that same style of music making found within Vessel and Blurryface, they aren't really going to have the room to push that lore forward in the music. Blurryface had a ton of songs that went absolutely viral and were plastered all over radio stations worldwide. Even though these songs are really great and have sprinkles of lore, it was Trench that really put the lore in the music. And I fear that if they're going back to the same music style as Blurryface, they're not going to give themselves room to put the lore in the music just like Trench did. Again, I could be totally wrong on this, but I'm really hoping that they're able to find a good compromise and find the best of both worlds. I want to see Bishops in the music videos. I want to see Dima in music videos. I want to see this new and evolved version of the world of Trench we haven't seen before, but depicted in the lore of Scaled and Icy. That is something that I'm dying to see, and as a true sequel to Trench and a third chapter in the Blurryface trilogy, this is what I believe a lot of fans are expecting of this album. So the last thing that I would love to see Scaled and Icy achieve as a record is take its time. I think Trench was so successful in taking its time and being confident in what it was. I think of songs like Cut My Lip, Bandito, Leave the City, Neon Gravestones that all really slowed down to communicate a clear and concise message. Aside from Goner and Blurryface, I don't see a lot of songs in their previous discography which really slows down to tell a story or at least push the lore forward. And this is something I'd really want to see Tyler and Josh accomplish in Scaled and Icy. Yes, they did say that this new album is going to be capturing the confidence that Blurryface was kind of known for, but I would also like to see them take their time in the lessons that they've learned from Trench and put it to practice in Scaled and Icy. I just hope that Tyler and Josh weren't discouraged that Trench was not as successful as Blurryface, so they felt the need to recapture that Blurryface vibe by going back to that same writing and musical style. Even though Trench may not have gotten as many streams and views on YouTube and Spotify as Blurryface, I still think that there are a ton of fans that would agree that Trench was a huge step up and a mature progression of what 21 Pilots is and what 21 Pilots can be. As a fan, I was really validated by how mature Trench was, because that meant that music reviewers all over the internet had to finally take 21 Pilots seriously for the first time. So with that being said, I want to hear your thoughts below. If you disagree with me, let me know. I know that there are a ton of fans of 21 Pilots that really enjoyed Trench for what it was, but there is that group that rejected Trench and really hangs on to Vessel and Blurryface as their supreme works of art. So what camp are you in? Do you really enjoy their previous stuff, or do you agree with me in thinking that Trench is their best work from a songwriting and production standpoint? Let me know in the comments below, but regardless of what camp you may be in, Scaled and Icy is going to be here before we know it. It's a little over a month away, and I can't believe that their album is just seemingly coming out of nowhere. I'm ecstatic to see what it does next, regardless of the outcome. So with that being said, no matter what direction they take, I'm still going to be a fan, and I'm still going to go see them in concert whenever this ban of live music is lifted. Thank you guys so much for the support. I genuinely appreciate all of your kind comments and messages on Instagram, and I will see you when I see you.